This is code.org. I'm currently working on CS Principles. I'm on Unit 5, Building Apps, Lesson 10, Building an App, Color Sleuth, Puzzle 25, AP Practice, Create PT, Abstraction. Alright, let's see what we have. One component of the AP Create Performance task is describing an abstraction within your program, right? Think functions. Functions are a key part of this. Written response, yes, okay. Here's one row of the scoring guide for this section. Row 8. Row 8. Response 2D. Explains how the selected abstraction manages the complexity of the program. Okay, so let's see our program. We should all be familiar with this. Update score, so we have this function, and importantly, we have a function with a, hopefully you yelled at your your computer screen, whatever, parameter. We have a parameter that is amount. Alright, the code selection above is taken from Color Sleuth activity you just completed. This section would count as an abstraction on the Create PT, but to earn row 8, you need to describe how this abstraction manages complexity. Written response 2D describes the abstraction above. Use the writing prompt and scoring guide lets as a guide. Alright, so let's just talk about how this manages the abstraction. What it's doing is, make sure your answer is in your own words. Talking through things like this is helpful. It's good to think about. It's good to ponder on. Can push in the right direction. This is your work. Plagiarism matters. Your answers need to be in your own words. Do not plagiarize. Alright, this is a function. So right off the bat for a function, I think, oh yeah, it's going to manage some complexity because it takes a chunk of code, takes it out and puts it in a wrapper, you could call it, this little function box thing. And then you name the function, or you should hopefully name it something that pertains, that describes what it is doing. So that kind of helps, but not, that doesn't really manage the complexity. It can clarify, but I guess a comment could too with a name. So what is actually aiding in complexity? Well, what makes a program complex? A very long program is considered a complicated program, right? So if a function can increase the likelihood that our program is not long, right, or decrease the length of our program, then it would be aiding in complexity. Something else that can make it more versatile is parameters, right? When it can accept arguments, when we can use parameters, we can run a whole lot of different instances, processes, events through the same piece of code without having to write it again and again and again. And having to write it less means our program will be less complex, by and large. All right, so what I'm going to do is put all of this in my words, not your words, and then I'm going to talk about my answer. Alright, I should edit this for grammar, but this is what I have. Make sure you do not copy. That is plagiarism. It is an issue. Do not plagiarize. But I hope this helps you think your answer out. And yours will be better than mine, especially grammatically, I am certain. Alright, functions help to organize programs since they take a block of code and have a name that applies to what that code does. Functions eliminate the need to repeat code since you can call a function multiple times throughout a program. You won't need to keep writing those lines of code. A function that has a parameter has even wider versatility, allowing the action of the function to be more specific to a particular event in the program, right? Because the parameter that is being able to use that parameter, you can respond to particular events and pass that information along to your function. Functions decrease the need for repetitive blocks of code, particularly functions with parameters. Yes, when you think of a function, you need to think of shorter code, right? You can do what is in the function multiple times without having to keep writing it and rewriting it. So functions definitely manage complexity, particularly those with parameters, and they eliminate the need for repetitive code and provide further clarity through the function names. So that's what I'm thinking. You make yours better, put that all in your own words, with your own thoughts as well, because I am certain I forgot something. Anyways, let's keep going.